A mysterious hand in a black glove injects a clear substance into the yolk of an egg. Minutes later, the egg divides. An identical one forms alongside the original. On the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a star is unveiled for the once glorious Oscar-winning actress, Elizabeth Sparkle. The camera lingers on her name, now dulled by time. As years pass, Elizabeth's fame fades into the past. The Oscar-winning actress is now reduced to hosting an aerobics TV show. Despite her age, she's kept in shape, her body fit, her beauty undeniable. But even she can't escape the inevitable. Her career, like her star, is fading. One day, in a men's restroom, Elizabeth overhears a conversation between Harvey, her producer, and a colleague. She's outdated. Harvey laughs. It's time to retire her. The audience wants a younger, hotter version. He mockingly suggests that Elizabeth's Oscar, earned at the dawn of cinema, is no longer relevant. It cuts deep, and she's left feeling like an obsolete relic in an ever-changing world. Later, she dines with Harvey, and over lunch, he bluntly announces her retirement. He talks about it casually, like discussing the weather, while Elizabeth's world collapses. She stares at a fly in her wine glass, her helplessness reflected in its tiny, buzzing wings. Back home, a bouquet of flowers arrives with a message. Thank you for being part of the team all these years. The emptiness of the gesture stabs at her. She stumbles upon an old classmate, Fred, but even his nostalgia feels hollow. He scribbles his number on a piece of soaked paper, a ridiculous gesture that only adds to her frustration. Her world continues to crumble. Elizabeth watches a commercial for a product called Substance, which promises to unlock the potential of a person's DNA. The advertisement reveals a shocking secret. With the right formula, one can create a younger, more perfect version of themselves. Desperate to reclaim what she's lost, Elizabeth orders the substance. The package arrives in the mail. Inside, she finds detailed instructions. The substance contains an activator, a stabilizer, and something called the switch food. It's clear. For this experiment to succeed, she must swap with her younger self every 7 days. The idea of another version of herself, fresher, flawless, ignites a glimmer of hope. After days of contemplation, Elizabeth finally injects the activator. Pain rips through her body as her spine splits open, and from the agony, a younger version of herself, a vibrant and stunning woman, emerges. The transformation is breathtaking. Elizabeth's older self, now left to wither in her own skin, is overwhelmed with a mix of awe and dread. The younger version, now called Sue, enjoys a life Elizabeth can only dream of: bright lights, fame, admiration. Sue replaces Elizabeth as the host of the aerobics show, and the audience, enamored by her beauty, is enthralled. As Sue basks in the spotlight, Elizabeth is left behind, aging faster with each passing day. The experiment grows darker. Sue, addicted to the stabilizer, becomes more reliant on the substance to maintain her youth, while Elizabeth's body deteriorates, transforming into a grotesque shadow of the woman she once was. Every 7 days, they switch. Each time, the lines between their identities blur, and the two versions of Elizabeth become increasingly entwined in a twisted cycle. Sue's addiction to the stabilizer accelerates the process. Elizabeth's form, once graceful, begins to wither. Her joints stiffen, her hair grays. Desperation begins to set in as Sue tries to outpace the inevitable. When the stabilizer runs out, Sue's body begins to fail, aging faster than she can control. In an act of utter desperation, Sue calls the substance provider for more stabilizer, but the answer is chilling. Elizabeth is the only source. To continue, they must switch, no exceptions. As Sue's body deteriorates, Elizabeth realizes the horrifying truth. The experiment is unraveling both their lives. In a final, tragic attempt to regain control, Sue tries to use the remaining activator, hoping to create a new version of herself. Instead, a monstrous hybrid emerges, Eliza Sue, a grotesque mixture of both women's bodies. This horrifying creation stumbles into the public eye, only to be met with screams of horror from the audience. The media, once obsessed with Elizabeth's beauty, now recoils at the abomination before them. As Eliza Sue's body falls apart, the bloodied remains flood the TV studio, marking the tragic end of both versions. The camera lingers on Elizabeth's star on the Walk of Fame, now a distant memory. The final remnants of her identity, a blood-soaked mess, are scrubbed away, leaving only the void. The film, darkly comical yet terrifying, serves as a brutal dissection of society's imposed standards of beauty. It forces us to confront the destructive nature of the pursuit of eternal youth and the consequences of trying to preserve an idealized version of ourselves at all costs. The message is clear. To be yourself is not only necessary, it's the only way to truly survive in a world that demands perfection.